Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Side Quests podcast. You're here with your host Ben, and who else have I
And
got with me?
and your other host, Ollie, and we have a very special guest with us today. An
Yeah.
extra special guest. Yeah.
Your other host, Dave.
Yeah.
The
He's
other
just
host,
joining us
Dave.
now, I think forever, probably. Well, I guess we'll see how this one goes first.
Yeah, this is his like trial run with Dave in it. But no, we've got a very special guest today. I don't think anybody will not know who Dave is. Dave is, friend of both of us. He's a fantastic content creator. He's one of the channels that I'm not just saying this, Dave, but like as soon as I see a video come up, I tend to sort of watch it early on, sort of straight away. Whereas other people, Ollie, no offense, I tend, so sometimes I watch them, sometimes I don't. But
I don't think I've seen a video of yours in about a year, to be honest, mate. But I'm not
right, it's fine. Nobody was watching them anyway, so it's fine.
Fucking hell.
But it's already started. This is pretty much every episode now. But yeah, we are here for episode 7. I can't believe we've made it 7 episodes in a row without an interruption. I thought we'd have we'd miss a week by now, but we're doing all right. But yeah, we've got our very first guest on, and if you'd like to see any other guests on the podcast, just let us know who you'd like to see in the comments. And if you've enjoyed Dave coming on, I'm sure Dave would like to come back on again in the future if this goes successfully and we're not all cancelled by the end of it. So. We'll try and keep it clean.
Cleanish. Well, what's the swearing policy? Oliver's mic's gone again.
Your mic's gone again, Ollie. Oh, what have you done? It's still gone. This is compelling viewing or compelling
This is
listening
crazy.
for those
Is it
people.
back?
It's
It's
back
back.
now, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't
Back in
move,
black, mate.
basically. I'm in the home setup here. And
Yeah,
by
don't
setup,
move.
I mean kitchen corner. So I can't move. But there we go. Yeah, I guess before we do the little introductions, what is this topic or episode going to be about? What's the topic, Benji?
So the topic for this episode is why do we paint? I'm going to give it a catchier title and something a little bit more gripping when you're watching it on YouTube. But yeah, essentially, why do we paint? What's our kind of motivation for painting? Why do we paint? What are our aims when it comes to painting? And we'll cover something a little bit spicier later on in the podcast. So before we kind of dive in, as we always do, we're going to have a little chat about our week, what we've been up to, anything kind of hobby related. Dave, because you're the guest, do you want to tell us what you've been up to?
Yeah, I've had a pretty funky week. I'm doing some audio work at the minute for some TV stuff. The project's a fucking dumpster fire. So I'm just
nothing
So
like
I'm-
the positivity.
yeah.
He's into rescue it, I think, aren't you?
I'm one of the people doing some rescuing. Yes. Can't give any more details than that because if the connection's ever made, I'm fucked.
Will we see TV, or is it unlikely to make it to TV at this stage? Or
No, it might do. It might like a dying horse at York races. It might just fucking come out the gate and then land face first.
Might limp over the end. I mean,
It
actually,
might.
you did some audio rescuing for me. Actually, I think although we've not actually met in person, I think I sent you a file of a load
Yeah.
of shit audio, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Can you fix it?" And you did fix it. You made it
I
better
did fix
than
it.
you made it better than my good audio. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
very-
I think I did. I'm not going to tell you
Yeah.
the secret to that, but
Yeah, you're a very talented
yeah.
man. What is it you do? Introduce us to your channel as well for those who don't know. What is it? What's your flavor? What's your love?
What's my flavor? My
Yeah.
flavor is so I'm Dave from MS Paints. Obviously, Benji knows me. Me and Oliver don't know each other.
No, and I don't want to, and that's fine.
Yeah, prick.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like everybody knew each other, but clearly not. And you both, when we kind of joined this call, we were like, "Oh, yeah, we don't know each other. We've never met." I was like, "Oh, I thought you had. I thought like you already knew each other." Like,
I'm not in the cool
Otherwise-
circle. I don't think I'm too uncool.
We text in the bath all the time.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
like,
we do actually. To be fair, I'm normally in the shower, standing
yeah.
standing on edge, erect. That's me, obviously. Yeah.
so on that note, yeah. So that's what you've been doing this week, Ollie. Is it standing in the shower erect?
Standing in the
basically?
shower.
Yeah.
What have I
Talking
been doing
to
this
Dave.
week? Oh my god, I've been doing another video. I just got a video out today. That was due out 2 days ago, or maybe a week and 2 days ago, but it's out now. Over
What is
on-
it, mate? Is it an AliExpress this time?
No, it's Wish. No,
Wish.
it's a passion project, right? So that means no one will watch it. It's a retro nostalgia piece where I zoom back. Previously, I painted a modern model in the 90s style. Now I painted a 90s model in the modern style, like a full circle, completed the 90s stuff. So that's been exciting. Actually,
And how's it doing so far?
so far, it's about 20,000 views behind Temu. So, make of that what you will. But I've been doing that.
So what you're saying is we're just going to be like grifting Temu from now on then, just to make sure you get the views in.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I was on another podcast this morning. That was exciting. We've been snowed in today. I had to close the shop today. We had a full Irish snow day. But I still, like an idiot, went into the shopping studio anyway, because, why wouldn't I? So I chanced my way in for about half an hour in the snow today and walked back 5 miles. I used to walk to school in the snow. So I did that. And yeah, pretty much painted nothing else but one single model. What about you, Benji? What have you been doing? I'm guessing no video. I think you actually, someone messaged today, said you promised you'd have a video up before this one came out.
I did, yeah. So it's still thumbnail. I might actually, whilst I'm out here this evening, I might actually just get some snaps for the thumbnail and just get it out the fucking way because it's doing my head in.
Well, whilst you're doing this podcast, yeah, just do some work.
Yeah, I'll just do just do like,
classic. Gets views, mate. Gets those clicks.
Exactly. But we got accused of clickbaitery the other week, didn't we?
We did. It only took 6 episodes or 5 episodes to get accused of clickbaitery, and we did it.
and then we did it, and then like literally, it's the best performing episode that we've had, and everyone's like, "No, this isn't the way to promote your channel, guys. This isn't the way to do it." And it's like, well, it's done like 1,300 more than the last episode did, where we thought, oh, let's put it like make something a little bit more wholesome about us and things like that, on our kind of hatred of 3D printing. And yeah, that one's just absolutely died a death. So yeah, whatever your thoughts on clickbait, it fucking works, all right.
It does work. It does work. And the fucking twats that leave the comments about, no, this is clickbait. This is. And you're like, right, okay, I'll see you in the next video that means something then. You fucking won't.
I'm just here to comment actually one thing. Yeah, you're our clickbait for this episode. That's what you're here for.
That's fine.
Yeah, you're meant to be clickbait. Click this man.
Yeah.
So you've done no hobby, by the way, Benji. Nothing then.
Oh no, I've done a bit of. I've assembled some super secret models, which have been exciting.
Someone's on the Games Workshop list. Ooh.
No, nothing Games Workshop, but some super secret models, and that's about it. Also, I went to see Jimmy Eat World in the last week as well, and so did you, Ollie.
I did.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
But we didn't go together, did we? You decided to go with some other.
Some harlot,
some harlots.
I was going to call her a whore, but we're fine. I don't know if that's too strong. It's my own partner,
so we were. I'm going to bring this up live with you now. Like, we were meant to be going together, but you ditched me. You ditched me.
That's not quite what happened, but it is. That's
exactly what happened. No, it's fine. I don't harbour any resentment. I just still cry a little bit every. It's fine.
I best watch what I say in case Kira watches this one. So
Wait, basically, you're about to say you'd prefer to come with me. Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I'm saying nothing. This is hard, isn't it?
So yeah. Anyway, but they were good, weren't they? They were
excellent.
They were good, even though we saw them separately. But we still individually had a good time.
I felt like you were there. Is that your kind of music, Dave? I feel like it's not. I feel like you're not into Jimmy Eat World. I feel like that's not your thing.
I like a couple of tunes as a bit of a nostalgia kick. Yeah. But I like a bit of everything because I've been a working musician for 15 years, so I've had to listen to all kinds of god awful fucking crap and then reproduce it. So I just learnt to generally love everything.
It just goes over like that.
Yeah. Like I've had to produce reggae the other day, and they looked at me like it was a sure bet, and I was like, I know what you motherfuckers are thinking, but despite how I look, I have never written a reggae track before.
I mean, I was going to assume you like reggae, right? But that's it.
No, couldn't get my head around it. Everything was offbeat. I was like, what is this?
It's wrong music.
It's wrong. It's broken music.
So before we kind of get into the topic, Dave, we've got a couple of questions to ask you so that the audience can kind of get to know you a little bit. Now, so these are some of the questions that we answered in our very first episode on speed dating. And they're probably ones that you've answered on your own channel and on other podcasts and stuff since. But again, the people may not have listened to those. So to give us a bit of flavour of kind of your hobby kind of background and what you enjoy doing things, if you could only paint one system forever, what would it be? So 40k or Age of Sigmar, or would it be something completely different?
Gundam.
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 Yeah.
People, you
Gundam.
love Gundam, don't you? Now you're a Gundam, bit of a goddamn Gundam wizard now.
Yeah, you wait a Gundam minute. Yeah, I mean, if I had to just do one system for the rest of my life, it would be the one that has like a 40-year back catalogue of models that are really cheap.
I mean, that's fair. What is it? Is it like all the panel art? I have to say, I am not a Gundam pro. I don't know much about it. Give me some. What's the deal? What's the love for Gundam? Giant robots.
Yeah, giant robots essentially. But the idea is you don't have to paint it if you don't want to because it's pre-colored on the sprue. And then when you do want
lots of people panel lining and stuff, right? That's like,
yeah. So essentially, you can treat them completely like scale models, like historical tanks or whatever. You can essentially do what you want with them in that regard. So yeah, I could absolutely do that until the end of my days. I think just be like Night Shift, but for Gundam.
That's
I could
very
do that.
good.
Yeah,
Can you play? Are there like games for them, or is it just like?
People have made games like homebrew ones, but I don't think there's like an official tabletop game out for it, which is crazy. There should be.
Well, I'll wait for the MS Paint's Kickstarter next year. There we go.
Yeah.
Goddamn
Yeah,
Gundam,
100%.
and it's big robots in what
That's the
scale?
one,
I don't even know what scale they are. Massive scale.
Yeah, but they're big.
Chunky scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
may as well just play Tau.
Hey.
But I watched the Gundam series on Netflix, or the mini series, whatever. You know, 6 episodes.
The one with the worst name ever, the Requiem for Vengeance.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty
Yeah.
good.
I thought it was really
I
good.
watched a few. I watched one where they went to like space. They flew about, and they all like hold hands, and they like rocket ship together further away, and they live on like a giant asteroid or something.
Did you watch Power Rangers?
No. It was quite good. I forget what it was called though. And there was like an AI alien-y one that like they were like fighting these big aliens. Oh, shit.
Transformers?
No, it's quite good though.
Yeah.
Knights of Sidonia, something like that though. Maybe that was what it was. I don't
That's
know.
the Muse song, wasn't it?
It is, but there was something like that. I'm going to Google. You do the next question. I'm Googling. Hold
Yeah,
on.
right. Okay.
back to
Yeah.
So, what is your one favorite model ever, and do you own it?
These are fucking hard questions. These are.
It was Knights of Sidonia, by the way. There you go.
Knights of Sidonia, yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's the old school Metal Carnifex.
Oh, big chunky boy.
Oh, cuddly
Just
boy.
angry screaming crab, yeah.
He's so cuddly.
The one that you can stick in a sock and beat someone to death with.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's a classy model. That one. I like it.
It's not classy, but it is classic.
It is. No, I think. Have you? Yeah, you got one from Murfield, didn't you?
I got the early 2000s one, but I've got the original from when I was a kid, and he's bright red and pink. He's fucking hideous.
Nice.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. And what's one piece of advice you'd go and give your younger self when it comes to the hobby?
Oh, when it comes to the hobby, okay, right.
Yeah.
Just in life. What is it? What's it life advice? I'll take that.
Yeah.
Just in life. Yeah, avoid that one. A brother's going to beat you up in 2 years. That would probably what I'd say to myself in my 20s. Hobby advice. I don't really know. Don't get back into it in your 30s.
I was going to say don't. Right, it's just my advice.
Yeah, don't.
Just don't. Don't do it. Whatever you're thinking, don't bother. Don't do it.
Go back in time and just slap the paintbrush out of your hand. Like, no,
Don't you fucking dare. Get out of that Games Workshop. Twat.
You nerd. Yeah.
And don't you even think about starting a YouTube channel. You idiot.
Yeah. Just don't go in there. Go back to the gym.
Yeah.
Just go back to the gym.
Yeah, that's good advice, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. So those were the 3 questions we had for Dave. So before we jump into the topic, Ollie, do we have any sponsors this week?
This week we are sponsored by
Oh, do you want a
Gamers
sponsor
Titty
segment?
Milk. No, we're not. Yeah, this is where if we had a sponsor, you'd put one, and we go.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
week we're sponsored by some sort of cereal or a health shake or Raid Shadow Legends. Oh, by saying that, I've kind of made it a sponsor. No, we're
Yeah.
actually sponsored by Broadsword Wargaming. The
I'll
shop
invoice
for
them later. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're sponsored by Broadsword Wargaming, the shop based over in the west of Ireland for all of your hobby needs. Make sure to click on broadswordwargaming.com. That's our sponsor for the week.
And Ollie
That's-
will fulfill all your needs.
I
It's
will.
a
I probably
promise.
will fulfill everyone's needs. Yeah, yeah. If you send me
Yeah.
a tenner, I'll pretty much do anything. I think, and I'll box it up for you and send it over. So yeah, that's our sponsor for the week. That and also
Amazing.
Goddamn Gundam, the Kickstarter to come in 2 years' time.
Yes, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Excellent. Excellent. So let's jump into the topic for this week, which is why do we paint? So, Dave, why do you paint? So, what's your kind of perspective on painting? Do you enjoy the painting? Do you enjoy the completed model? Do you paint for gaming purposes? What's your flavor?
What's your thing? I mean, I these days it's mostly painting for either work or gaming. That's kind of about it. I don't paint for competition. I don't really paint for display. I paint so that I can, like a big fucking child's box of Lego, I can tip it into a rucksack and just take it to game night kind of thing. So in that regard, my models are quite pretty by comparison to everyone else that just fucking chucks them in. But yeah, it's mostly gaming. So I kind of go to a mid to low standard on stuff just because I have 2 hours at most a night, every other night if I'm lucky. And what I get done in those 2 hours is what gets done kind of thing. So I just, my brief is quick.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate to that, right? Not
Mhm.
many of us have as much time as we'd like. Like if I could paint every day, I probably wouldn't anyway. But if I could paint every day and did paint every day, then sure. But realistically, like yourself, for me, it's after the kid's gone to bed at 10 p.m. That's my time to paint. And normally I'm doing a video anyway, so I'm probably just painting for that. Do I get to
Yeah.
really paint for like fun or pleasure? Not really anymore. I don't paint for competitions like yourself. Like the standard of competitions is like,
Yeah.
you know, I was never even any good back in the day, and I'm okay. I think I'm like an average painter, right? But yeah, certainly, I think the only sort of good thing I have is that I've tried lots of stuff through the channels, you know. But I certainly just paint really for videos, or I suppose the only thing I like doing for myself is old stuff. I don't know, that kind of brings me a little bit of actual joy. Is just pretending to be a teenager or whatever again, or you know,
Yeah, if you're going to paint for yourself, it needs to feel warm and fuzzy.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I think that's it. Yeah.
No.
What about you,
Makes
Benji?
sense.
What's your painting reasons? Are you the same as us, or what?
Much the same as you guys. Like I've been asked this question a couple of times recently, and it's for me, it's always kind of come down to like, I think fundamentally, why do I paint? And it is to get models on the table to use. And I know we've discussed this before, Ollie, but I don't like playing with unpainted models. For some reason, it just feels a bit like sacrilegious to me. Like, you know, if I'm playing the game, I want it to be immersive, so I want to paint. But again, much like you, Dave, like if I'm painting stuff for myself, like literally I'll get 2 hours an evening. So maximum, I probably get like 10 hours a week, if that. And obviously in that time as well, if I've got work to do or, you know, stuff to do around the house, you know, that kind of eats into that time as well. So like literally I can go a couple of weeks comfortably without without picking up a paintbrush. And you know, so when I do kind of hobby, it's stuff that I want to get done. Now, you know, I think when the channel was in its infancy and I had a bit more kind of time on my hands, you know, we were going through COVID and we didn't have all the social stuff to do. You know, I probably spent a bit more time painting stuff maybe that I might not necessarily have wanted to paint or needed to paint, but yeah, now it's purely stuff that I want to paint for myself.
I wonder if that's like a YouTuber bias for the three of us, or like do other people also feel the same way? I think most people probably feel the same, right? No matter what you do, you probably just never have time. You know?
Yeah, I would have thought that's a fairly common thing amongst, but maybe people our age. I think if I was a bit younger, maybe I might have a bit more time. If I didn't have you know, a kid, I'd probably have a little bit more time as well, because you know, by the time I get home, normally I get home for sort of like 6 o'clock, and you know, it's kind of dinner time, then it's bath time, bedtime, and you know, he literally went to bed like 9:15. So you know, eventually kind of gone to sleep. And and you know, it doesn't leave a huge amount of time until
Yeah.
bedtime, and you know, then I'm up at 7, you know, the next morning, sort of, or you know, 6:30, 7 o'clock the following morning, and you know, unless I go to bed like in a reasonable time, I'm just really, really cranky and tired the next day. So I can't really not sleep anymore. I feel like I used to be able to kind of go, you know, I'd go a few days and you know, I'd stay up till sort of 3 a.m. painting and stuff like that. I just can't do that anymore.
No.
I think that's an age thing.
I've done 3 of those the last 3 nights to get this video. 3 a.m.ers, painting sessions down at the shop, waiting for oils to dry, pissing around with a hairdryer. And like, it's killed me, I think, now. And here we are at, what time is this now? 11 or something. 10 o'clock.
Whoa.
This is late. This is late.
Yeah. Big boys late night in.
Yeah. Is it Thursday today or Wednesday? It's Thursday. Thursday used to be the Friday, right? When you were younger, I used to go out on a Thursday night. Thursday's pre-Friday. Like, Thursday's the real weekend. But
Thursdays was your warm up for the weekend.
Yeah, freshen up now.
You
you still get out and about, Benji. You still go for the old pint. I know you do.
Occasionally.
I've seen you drunk in 2 a.m. messages. You know?
Yeah.
And the pictures that follow.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd imagine most people are in the same spot as us, right? For painting, so.
Although actually, that said, I've literally just finished a competition piece. I don't know why I know why I completely forgot it existed, because I'm sick of fucking looking at it at work. That's why I forgot it existed. So I do.
What was that one?
That was not to bring Gundam again, but that was for the Gundam Builders World Cup, mate. Going to the World Cup.
How'd you get on? Good time?
It was good. Yeah. I've built it. I finished it, painted it, did a lighting rig. Yeah, it's done. I've showed it to a few people, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, enjoy your fucking trophy." So we'll see what happens. It's kind of like, because
so how many people enter this then? Is it like a worldwide
3?
thing? Like
So you get a trophy.
Yeah, it is a Mr. Worldwide like competition, but it's I thought it was judged worldwide, and then my friend who works at Bandai was like, "No, mate, you need to enter because you can win based on your own country. You can win in the UK, and no one fucking does Gundam in the UK. So fucking do it this year before it gets really popular, and you actually have a chance." I was like, I think that's a compliment. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Do it now before more people turn up.
Yeah.
You're okay now. Then you'll be shit in a year's time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I do feel like you should be taking the credit for bringing Gundam into the UK, because I barely saw it, and then you started doing some Gundam, and now everybody's like, "Oh, look, I've been sent some Gundam stuff." Not that I'm taking piss out.
I was,
but you know,
I was ringing Wayland every week, like, "Yeah, what a Bandai said. Are they doing Gundam yet?" And they're like, "Dave, please stop calling us. We'll call you when the deal's good." So yeah, I'm maybe I'm partly responsible. Maybe my trip to Japan. I think my trip to Japan I actually brought back in my own personal luggage than has been imported by Wayland Games. But
You're like smuggling Gundam, bringing it over the border, the black market.
Essentially, yeah. They took a load of model kits off me and then looked at the 2 cartons of Blackberry menthol cigarettes and were like, no, these Gundams can't come in, mate.
Yeah. You can bring 100 kilos of that, but not them. Yeah. Very good.
But yeah, I think you should definitely be taking credit for that.
There's definitely been a bit of a movement, haven't there? I've seen a lot more, on Instagram and YouTube now. So it's kind of cool. It's like that's the power of the influence. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what you've done now.
And I think to be fair, Bandai are really, they themselves are kind of pushing it, because I don't think they've ever seen us as a real serious market before. But now that like there's free shows you can watch on YouTube, they've got that new Netflix series. It's like, we've realized we need to actually make this accessible to people, and maybe people want to buy it, and maybe women want to buy it and be involved. Maybe we should try that.
Yeah. Who knows? Only half the world population, like. So.
Yeah.
But
Double the market.
I think it's definitely like hobby parallel, hobby adjacent, isn't it? Like Warhammer, computer gaming, like Gundam. They're all kind of like linked a little bit. Your D&D.
Yeah.
So one market very much flows into the next.
Yes.
And we've seen a big uptick from like Space Marine 2. We had an episode on that, and like Space Marine 2 brought so many people in to the hobby. So the same with Netflix shows or The Witcher and all these things. Everything just zooms up, and you get more board games coming out, and we have a Witcher board game, for example, or whatever IPs, or Pacific. Is there a Pacific Rim one? Is that like Gundam? Is that sort of Gundam?
Yeah,
Pacific Rim?
there is a Pacific Rim, the board game. There's one figure of it left in my friendly local game store that is reduced to like 75% off, and it's been there for a fucking year.
Oh god, this is the idea of playing giant robots kicking giant aliens is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was definitely keen. I remember looking at that one, but I don't know. Did it not really take off? Probably.
I don't think it
know.
took off, no, because BattleTech got a resurgence around the same time. So it was like, well, we can just play this thing that's not attached to a movie from 12 years ago. We can just do that.
No, there was a second movie. Come on now.
Come on, mate.
It was shit, but yeah.
I think I watched the second one before I watched the first one.
That's unfortunate. I mean, the only way is up from there, I suppose.
Yep, you can't get worse, right? It's like watching one of the Aliens films, right? And then watching a different one, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's where the reset the clock meme comes from, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I was just making sure.
That's the one.
Sure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, the first one's actually pretty good.
Oh, it's
I
really
enjoyed the first
solid.
one.
Yeah.
But then it's like, as you say, you can't really go wrong with monsters fighting giant robots.
Giant robots.
The second movie does prove you can go wrong with monsters fighting giant robots.
Well, I remember thinking it's a bit crap, but the robots and the giant monsters were pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Pretty good. So what do we have next up on our list? So, what are your painting aspirations? So, is there a level that you kind of aspire to? Is it paint everything? Dave? What's your take on that?
To be honest, given my degenerative condition, just maintaining the capacity to paint for a few more years would be really nice.
keep painting away, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just to be able to like maybe make it to retirement with a couple of armies would be good. A couple of armies finished. Just to kind of keep going. I don't necessarily want to get better. I want to keep learning because learning's good. But in terms of skill, I'd like to expand it, and I'd like to learn more. But in terms of getting like air quote better,
I think it all kind of comes with it, right? Like for me, or even for I won't talk for Kira, but she's tried a lot of different things. She's tried a lot of different techniques, a lot of different like from wet blending to oils to whatever. And I feel like the more, it's very much a trial and error. The more you try stuff, the more experience you get, kind of the better you get anyway. The yesterday's video for me was like my second or third time using oils successfully. Previously I've used them and I've over thinned them, and then you get that weird like it like leaves the recess, and so it gives you like a tide mark of shite. So I've done that a lot. I've over thinned it. So yesterday I went the other way and it's slightly too thick, but it cleaned off easier. So and we've had like enamels, and we've had a lot of like streaking grimes kind of come onto the market, and there's so many different things you can do now to make yourself a better painter quicker. Like things like wet blending and NMM are always going to take a lot more time and a lot more like skill level probably than some other things. So certainly finding techniques that work to improve your painting standard easily is probably quite important. People might call it a cheat, but I don't know, like airbrushing and enamels aren't really cheating, is it? It's all just an aid to doing more.
Something quicker, and absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
Those things were like standardized in hobbying and modeling before the people that called you a cheater were actually fucking born. So like, oil paint's cheating. Oh, is oil paint cheating in it? Oh, Van Gogh, it's all a fraud, is it? It's all
he's a cheat. He was just AI generated, I think.
Yeah,
just
Starry
chat
Night,
GPT.
dog shit. Fuck it, get it off.
And that's the kind of hot takes. They're the hot takes we have here. Yeah,
that's real spicy.
Chuck some thinners at that fucking shit. Dog shit piece of crap on the wall.
Dunk it in a white spirit. Fucking
Lord. But there's so many things, and like I paint very much just I like to have full armies. I don't have many because we don't have much time to paint them. But like the end goal for me would be to that, but improving as well. And I like, have you ever thought about have you ever done any like lessons or anything? You ever thought about like Patreons or guides or lessons to people? I've often thought about doing more of that, but never really got round to it. But I'm sure tuition is probably a good way to get better. I don't know. I suppose
as in me teaching, or
no, you taking being taught. Yeah.
I've kind of thought about it, but it's just the time thing. It's just the time.
if I could set aside like an hour a week, to take like a
Yeah.
one-on-one. I've done a few courses. I did an airbrush course with Miles from Little Legend
Mhm.
like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And that kind of was a big kickstart into me improving or actually using the airbrush and then improving. So
Mhm.
I found in that one weekend course, I learned a lot.
Okay.
And
I
I
think
found
that's
it was good.
that's probably one course that I would do is airbrushing.
Yeah.
I think we'll kind of cover it. We're gonna the next sort of topic, I guess, is going to be how good you actually need to be, which we'll kind of come on to in a little bit. But I think there's kind of how to say it without sounding like bitter because I'm a crap painter, but I think there's like a bit of like wankery around some very high level painters, shall we say?
There's a colossal amount of twattery and
of
tomfoolery
wankery.
going on.
Yeah,
There really is.
and
Give me some
I
names,
just
mate.
sort of
Drop me some fucking names. Who are we talking about?
Yeah.
I'm not going to name any names, so I don't want to like cancel myself from this industry. But but there is a colossal amount of wankery, which again we'll kind of come on to that in a little bit. So, Ollie, what are your kind of painting aspirations then?
I feel like someone's turned 2 pages at once, and I've skipped a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what's happened now, but sure. One of my aspirations: get better, do more, paint an actual army of something, and stop like painting bits of them. I have a horrible tendency to like airbrush or do a whole ton of an army and leave it at 70% and then do another one and then never come back to it because I've improved or I've changed or something. And then by the time I go back to do it, I'm better than I was. And then I think it's all shit. And then I sell it and then round goes the circle, right? Like,
is that when like an example of when I've broken the back of it? But
yeah, I've broken the back of a project and then go, right, that's enough now.
Yeah,
I could use this a bit and then base it, and then it just never is really what I wanted to be.
I think you made about five videos in a row at one stage where you were just like, well, I've broken the back of it. And,
kind of broke the back of that one, and that's fine.
This is as far as I'm going to get. And that's the video. Well done.
But like, that's the problem with doing the YouTube videos, right? It's so hard to go back, isn't it? You move on, next project, next thing. And like my interests often wane and float around, like the wind really. And I'm really into something, and then next month, right, I'm not looking at that ever again. Like currently, I'm a bit obsessed with like old world stuff. I don't know why. I've been obsessed with that for a bit, but I've not done any. But I know as soon as I do, I'll be like, "Oh, it's shit now. On to something else."
You kind of you've kind of scratched that itch, and you want to move on to something a little bit different. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm much the same as you guys. I like painting full armies, and if I start an army, I tend to want to finish it all because, again, like you said, you improve or you want to change something, and then obviously if you're halfway through an army and you come back to it afterwards, like your painting styles not necessarily change, but you want to try and do something different. So then half your army ends up looking slightly different, and it really kind of bugs me when I see like two halves of my army that look different, and it might not be noticeable to other people, but I can see it. I can see, that's one of the ones that I painted earlier on in the process. That's one that I painted towards the end. So I try and get like the vast majority of the army painted in one big old chunk. But yeah, for me, kind of in terms of aspirations, I just want to get like armies painted that I can play with and get on the table. Like, that's kind of what I paint for. I don't necessarily want to be like a golden demon level painter. I don't really want to.
No, you fucking don't.
Enter painting competitions, like I don't want to spend 800 hours of my life and then be really angry about it afterwards. I prefer to paint something that I'm happy with, that I can get 50 games out of over the next sort of 10 years or something.
It's nice to have someone to go like, the army looks nice, and it's a nice feeling, right? Because you're getting complimented by peers or whatever. And I think that's like a nice. It's nice to have nicely painted armies and things to play with. But there's so much pressure now, though. I find I really struggle with that sometimes. So much pressure to like do well and to be better. You see like all these Instagram posts or Facebook posts, and people aren't necessarily meaning that, but you compare yourself against stuff, don't you? And you look at that and you go, I painted my avatar. I remember painting my avatar, thinking that's one of the best things I've ever painted, being like, oh, this is awesome. And then I was like, oh, it's great. And I was ready to post it on Warhammer Community and all those things. And then there's like 10 more avatars came in, and they all made mine just look shit. And I was like, right, well, I'm shit now, then, aren't I? And that's a really like hard feeling sometimes to move on. I think we've all felt that. I think
100%.
Yeah. I had a lad in the shop. He's like new to painting. He's like, oh, I bought a box of models. I'm going to paint one marine of each scheme. And then he's like, but if they don't look good at the end, it probably just means it's not for me. And I was like, you've painted like 10 models. Like, do you know what I mean? like take the pressure off. Woe down, like
Yeah.
you know.
I've paid
you're
1,000
gonna-
and I'm still fucking shit. Don't worry about it.
You're gonna be shit, like you know.
Yeah.
And he's like he's trying to wet blend stuff, and I was like they're not easy techniques to do,
Mhm.
but you know you might see information online where it's like
Yeah.
just to do this kind of thing, and you also and
Yeah.
it's just you know it takes practice, doesn't it,
Yeah.
and experience.
I think, you know, you're
Mm.
saying about Instagram. I think there is this massive pressure for new people to feel like they have to do like wet blending, that they have to be like an absolute pro from the start. And I think, you know, it's the one piece of advice that I'd give to any new painter is you just practice the fundamental stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just base coat, but like base coating, I think is one of those things that if you get that looking right, like if you can like really neatly base coat a model, you know, and you just apply a wash to it, it looks 1,000 times
Yeah.
better than somebody who's tried to sort of do wet blending but hasn't really
Yeah.
done a particularly good job of it or something like that. But I think once you kind of get that, then you can. It's taking. It's like building a pyramid. Do you know what I mean? Like you start off with like your building blocks at the bottom,
Yeah.
and then kind of once you've got your base layer, then you can kind of go up to the
Yeah.
next level. Now, some people's pyramids will be like really kind of like steep, and they
Yeah.
only need a few building blocks to kind of build
Yeah.
up. But then those are like professional footballers and stuff. Like there is some innate talent in some people. Like you know they are just artists and they can visualize it. Now that's not me. I'm more of a paint by numbers kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? Like I prefer to look at box art and go, that's the sort of thing that I want to achieve, rather than kind of going for something really cool and funky looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there is definitely this pressure from Instagram and social media for you to get better, and you know if you're not getting better, then you're getting worse. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of. It's not a grift, because obviously the good painters are good painters, and you know they've taken thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of practice to get to that point. But when they're then sort of pushing patrons or YouTube channels and things like that, then you know it is obviously like you need to be getting better, and the only way you're going to get better is by watching this. And that's why you know I'll never really do like a painting guide or a painting tutorial or anything like that. All of my content says because I'm not a good enough painter to do a painting guide really. But yeah, any other takes on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everything?
Well, I think one of the most important things that people forget when they see a nice picture of a model is that, well, the words are in that sentence. It's a nice picture of a model. And I've done it in a few videos before where I've just been like, I'll be talking about the subject and then I'll turn off my color grade and just bring it back to log footage, and I'm like, this is what this shit actually looks like right now, and then click the button back on, and then the fucking flares are back and the smoke machine's on. Do you know what I mean? Like everything. Like if you've got some basic photography skill, and a nice light box and a decent bit of glass, like you can elevate an average model. And you know, if the other day I was taking pictures of the Gundam diorama I did, and I've never really worked with raw photography before, like because you get a JPEG and then you get a raw file, and I thought, oh, that picture's fucking dire. It's completely underexposed. You can see the thing's face, but everything else is just black. And then I clicked auto, and everything just fucking appeared. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So how easy is this? Yeah. So it's just with that, it's an extra skill set on top of the painting that's done it. Like,
well, you see people with the kind of the low level. You know, you reduce your lighting. You know, you increase the contrast. I mean, I know people say, "Oh, it's cheating to increase the contrast," but people do. Of course, they do. You know, they increase the contrast ever so slightly. You know, as you say, you know, a decent lens and a light box just does so much for a mini.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I've seen pictures that people put up, and then I've seen them in real life, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't look quite as good as I thought the pictures.
But that's what it's about, right? It's all kind of social media. It's kind of a game, you know. It's a game. It's a numbers game.
Totally.
It's a win. And like even the model I painted the other day, I think it looks better in reality than it does on the camera because you know I'm dealing with lights and I'm dealing with other factors that are less easy for me to control. You know, I'm actually trying to compare like a sort of matte old Warhammer miniature paint style with the new oily glossy thing, and to kind of get the two to look good at the same time. Putting the new one on the camera against the old one, which I was really happy with, made the old one look really shit. But that's because the lighting's quite nice, so it accentuated the highlights and the contrast already on the model. And very much like yourself, I'm kind of a big proponent of sort of letting like it's okay to be a bit
Yeah.
shit. You know, like,
Yeah,
you know, there's even more pressure to do better on YouTube than I actually would ever normally really paint to. You're
Yeah.
getting, you know, a 50mm lens or whatever that's dead sharp, sharper than my eyeballs,
Mhm.
closer, bigger than I could even, like, you know, when you
Yeah.
take a photo, you can see like dust and stuff
Yeah.
on models, you know,
Yeah.
and hair or a brush. You can't
Oh,
see that in reality.
I hate that. I think that, you know, in when you've been filming, you've got like nice little piece of B-roll, and then you see like a hair on your model or something. You're like, I didn't even see
Yeah.
that. Do you know what I mean?
You
Like,
don't
where,
see
where
it,
did that
you
even
know?
come from? You don't see
And
it.
it's always a
But-
beard hair that someone is absolutely
Yeah.
they're gonna think it's a pube. So it's like
It's
right.
always a pube. I'm going to say it's a
Right.
pube. isn't
It's
it? Yeah.
always a
Yeah,
pube.
I've de-rigged everything. I'm gonna have to fucking relight the whole room and just do it all again.
Sponsored by Manscaped.
Sponsored
Do you
by
know what I mean? That's
Manscaped.
that
Yeah,
one. Yeah. Keep the pubes off your model. So, but it is, and it's like so then there's like, you know, do you then go in? Do you just reshoot it or clean it or go into Lightroom, whatever? Now my
Yeah, yeah.
skills aren't very good at editing, but like I say, I used Canva on a thumbnail today
Mhm.
and just hit auto, and it just made it look better.
Mm.
I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah.
there's some contrast, there's some light, bit of extra shadows.
Mhm.
Extra blacks or whatever, and away you go.
Yeah.
And is it a true telling of the model? Not necessarily, because you're trying to sell a picture
Yes.
for people to click on.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing you're trying to compete against. Not only that, but then like, I often wonder if we all had the same time, say we all had 10,000 hours of painting,
Mhm.
would we all be at the same standard? You know,
No.
I don't think so,
I don't-
right?
No.
Like,
It's like footballers and stuff. Like, even if I put, like, you know, as a kid, you know, started playing football and I put the same amount of effort in, I would never, you know, there's people that have just got innate
Mhm.
Mhm.
skill that's just in them. Like, you know, my hand might be, you know, it might be just too wobbly or something to get the correct brush strokes. You know, my eyes might not render color in the same way as other people's. You know, there's all these kind of minute details and minute differences. And don't get me wrong, I could get to a point where, you know, I'm good, but I'll never be the same as, you know, the top 1% of painters.
Yeah.
Do
It's
you
like
know what I
anything, right?
mean?
Yeah, you know, we're not all going to be Roger Federer or whatever, you
No.
know, or like,
Yeah.
it's that we
Yeah,
can all
yeah.
get. You could, I think, if we all had the same time, we could all get to be very good.
Mhm.
But do we have the extra percent to push on? I don't know. I wouldn't ever know, I guess, until I did it. But I haven't got the dedication, the time, nor the willingness
Time,
to do that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that sets me apart already, right? Is
Yeah,
I haven't put 10,000 hours into it. Maybe I have,
Yeah.
but not the right 10,000
Yeah.
hours. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's so tough, really, to look at that. And I see a lot of that from new people coming into the store, and they're so critical of their own stuff.
Mhm.
I'm like, my first model, sure, I was like 5 or something, and it was shit, obviously. But like Kira's first model, she did it on the channel,
Mhm.
and she got so like her pyramid route was like that. She got very good very quickly, I think, and just had a good eye for it and would follow the right guides. And so much is even like color choice and
Mhm.
understanding colors. You know, a good painter paints. I have people who do that. They paint a really nice paint job, but
Mhm.
like the colors are off, so it
Yeah.
just looks a
Mm.
bit bad.
Yeah.
You know, like color choice and, you know, like, I don't know, color theory, I suppose
Yeah.
people use as a big term, don't they? But, you know, whatever, color wheel, just don't put the wrong colors next to each other.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's so important too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much really to take into account
Yeah.
when it comes to your painting.
But to kind of bring it back to, I think it was 2 topics ago, is what are you painting for? It's like
Yeah.
a lot of people seem to be painting to get better, and it's like,
Yeah.
but this is your hobby, and I've used the
Yeah.
example before, like stamp collectors don't stamp collect to get better at stamp collecting; they stamp collect to collect stamps.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
You enjoy it. You're meant to enjoy
You
it.
meant- you
right?
meant to
the
enjoy it.
painting
Yeah.
should be
Totally,
the
yeah.
enjoyment.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's baffling. Like I've just started painting with my next door neighbor because he's just got into Warhammer. I gave him an issue of Combat Patrol, and I'm really sorry to his partner.
What have you done? What have I
I'm
done?
gonna give him a Gundam next, see what happens. But we had a really great time. But one of the things he said before we even started was, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Mine aren't going to look as good as yours." I'm like, "Well, no, because
You've been doing it for 20 years or whatever.
6 years, but yeah,
Well, longer.
Yeah.
Six
Yeah.
years. 6 years.
Only 6. Yeah.
I thought did you not like start like when you
He's
were way
He's
younger?
only 18 years old.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 18.
okay,
I'm just fucked. That's very rude of you.
Yeah. Like, I know you started what the channel started 4 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
And then you only just started before that?
Yeah, a couple of years before that. Yeah, I did it for about
What?
8 months, got diagnosed with MS, cracked on for another year, and then COVID hit, and so on started the channel.
Crazy stuff. I thought you were doing it way before that.
No. A lot of people
Wow.
say that. It's like, oh, you've been doing camera work for 20 years. I was like, I fucking haven't. I haven't.
No.
No.
I remember some of your early ones, and you kind of, I think you had like a big skylight in you, and it was like kind of really like looked a bit washed out and stuff because there was just so
slightly
much light.
overexposed, Benji, I think is
Yeah,
the
just
term you're looking for.
yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
I used to
but
like
yeah.
that though. I used to get like mine nice and bright. Like I'd never used the camera before I started the channel. Literally, even my first video, I didn't even shoot it. Someone else shot it for me because I didn't know how to use a camera. So like, but I like that. I liked a bit of overexposed. I still kind of do a little bit. You know,
I used
bang
to,
that light
Yeah,
up.
I used to do it quite a lot. Like everything was so fucking bright and shiny, and it made me look younger as well. Like me and my wife watched some old videos the other day from like 2 years ago, and she was like, "Fucking hell! Either you have had a really rough couple of years, or get your old camera back because that was great."
Get that skylight back.
Yeah. But one of my long time suffering friends from university. He's a producer for TV now. He does period dramas mostly, and I showed him some of my stuff like a couple of years ago. And as soon as a talking head piece came up, I just kind of heard him go, what does that mean? Oof. Well, Dave, bit bright, isn't it? How bright? Really fucking bright. I was like, right, okay. So
that's what Luke used to do to me. Like every Luke Fellows from Geek Gaming. Every time I put a video out, like when I first started, he'd as soon as I made it live, I'd send it over to him for him to review it, and he's like, yeah, great, post it. And I post it, and he'd ring me and he'd go, at 21 seconds in, you're a bit overexposed. At 47 seconds in, you're not quite in focus there. And then at 1 minute 43, what do you do to your color grade then? Because it looks completely different to everything else. And I'm just like, they're like, fuck, you just told me to post it. It's like, yeah, but I want you to get better for the next one. I'm like, for fuck's
just
sake.
put him on speakerphone and do some wallpapering or something. Like, yeah, all right, yeah.
I pretty much used to just do that. He used to send me LUTs as well. Bless him. He's a good lad.
Oh, yeah.
I learned so much from Luke.
Same.
You know, I'm very grateful really to him. He taught me loads.
Totally.
Yeah.
Taught me loads of old shite.
But I remember saying, well, that's the thing. For my first like couple of videos, I had like LUTs on it and stuff like that, and then I just put my camera in Faithful one day. I was like, look, I'm sorry, I'm just going to stick to Faithful because it just looks how I want it to look, and it looks a bit like nicer than LUTs, and I can't be asked like color grading every single fucking thing that I film. But
I had some viewers tell me the other day they just watch my stuff in like double speed and things, or they just don't even watch it. And I'm like, but I did such a good focus pull, manual focus pull on the on the monopod or whatever, getting some cool shot. They're like, I don't know which shot. I'm like, fuck you. And
it just goes whoop, like really like just focusing just really quickly.
I had quite an arty shot the other day, and someone told me it looked blurry, and I was like, but it was meant to. That was the point.
That's the whole point of it. Yeah. But yeah, it's all good fun. All good fun. So I think we kind of covered the main kind of chunks of the topic.
I'm glad you're here to keep us moving along. By the way, Benji.
Yeah, I know.
I always kind of know now. He's like, right, enough of that. Move on. Shut up.
This is what I'm here for. So the last topic that I've got here, and I've written it down as Golden Demon wankery. So this is where it gets sort of slightly spicy, where we're going to start slagging people off. I think
it's a little bit spicy, yeah.
Maybe not slagging people off, but yeah. So Dave, what did you want to say about Golden Demon?
Fucking hell, man, Tony.
Get the frog in here.
Get the gang Tony in. Get Tony in.
It's not wide enough. It'll come in. Don't you worry. You can edit this, right?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So to some extent.
Okay. Yeah.
He won't. But he can.
I could. I won't. I should, but I shan't. I mean. So yeah, kind of Golden Demon. Like, so would you guys ever enter Golden Demon?
No.
Golden Demon, right? I don't know if everyone is aware of it. Is obviously I would say it is probably the biggest painting competition kind of name.
I think it's probably the one that everyone
would know.
Everyone in the industry would know. I'm sure there are big ones out there.
On the reading, the air quote reading I have done for this video, people refer to it as the world's biggest painting competition ignoring the existence of actual normal painting, yes, it probably is.
I think that's what I'm meaning. It's the biggest in our industry,
Yes.
right? In our
Yeah.
main field of
Yeah.
miniature painting. Golden Demon, right? I've been going around for God knows how
Mm-hmm.
long, you know, and Slayer Swords and Mourner Wars, and now we have 2 a year. Do we as well? Do we have like one in Europe and one in America? Do we have 2 Golden Demons or
so,
something?
yeah.
That seems to be a
Yeah,
thing.
because we had
And then we've
did we have the AI
we had-
controversy earlier this year?
Correct. I
Yes,
thought
I think so, yeah.
I thought that was now, but you're right. That was earlier, and
Yes.
then we had another one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Somewhere recently, and because I mean, back in the day, we used to go to the NEC, Birmingham NEC or whatever, back in,
Yeah.
and that was got Games Day. I think I went like '98 or something, and that was, you know, there's a guy on the stage going, "Whoa!" And even a couple of the lads in the Games Workshop Peterborough used to be Golden Demon winners, like just lads.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just painting in the shop.
Just general lads.
What's his name? Mark.
Fucking lads.
Tate? Yeah, Mark. I think Mark
Yeah.
Tate. I think Tate. He was from Peterborough. He went loads. He used to come in the show. I used to play with him on like a Thursday
Oh,
night.
shit.
There's my shit army, and he's like, "Oh, here's my army." I'm like, "They're pretty good," you know. Like, so he needs to be in display there. And so Golden Demon always had a lot of like reputation with him, and it still does carry reputation. There's just a lot more wars, a lot more categories as it's kind of grown over the years. Now, with that, obviously, has come other things as it's become broader and wider and attracted more people from various fields. And now with the sort of the inventive AI and lots of other interesting things and 3D printing,
3D printing,
sculpting, and they've, as it's moved on, they've had to try and keep up really, I think, and make rulings that haven't previously, you know, they didn't have to worry about that in the 90s, did they? They didn't have to worry about 3D sculpting because it didn't exist.
Exactly.
Really. But now it does. So now I think they're trying to keep up with rulings, and there has been some controversy this year, obviously, as well as some amazing paint jobs. You know, I think when was that? Was that the year before? That big Gargant, the Mega Gargant, dragging the thing through the water, the Kraken.
Oh yeah.
That won the Slayer Sword. Was that the year before? That was fucking awesome, right? And there's some amazingly good paint jobs in there. But it's been a funny year. It feels this year.
Yeah.
I don't know in social media whether it's true or just sort of blowing up a little bit, but it does feel like there's been
more controversy than ever, really. So. Yeah, so the last one I think was we talked about the AI, and you know, was it the background that was AI generated?
Yeah, it was the background that was AI generated.
So it wasn't the actual. Obviously, the paint job can't be an AI paint job. You know, the actual physical modeling and things can't be AI generated, but it was just like the background because it was a Seraphon, or if I remember correctly,
like an Eldar or something with a big jungly background thing. Yeah,
Eldar. But yeah, because I remember seeing it, and you know, it did look impressive. Like, don't get me wrong. So yeah, what's your take on it, Dave, on AI and things being used in Golden Demon?
I mean, I don't think it's allowed anymore. I think they've
ruled against it after then.
Yeah. Which is entirely fair. Like, AI is a very, very complicated topic these days, and most of the loudest spokespeople against it in YouTube comments and shit are people that have never been a working artist or don't actually know how much a working artist costs. So I'm very undecided about AI because I use it every day in my job. It's made audio work a lot easier. Predominantly, I think if you know how to do the job anyway, and you use an AI assistant, like integrate it into the workflow, I think it's a brilliant tool. But I think, given some jobs I've done recently where people proudly announce that they've used AI for some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I can fucking tell.
Yeah.
Why was that just not shot? Why didn't you just shoot someone getting their keys out of their pocket? Why did you go away and AI generate someone getting keys out of their pocket? What the fuck is wrong with you?
With 8 fingers.
With 8 fingers.
Yeah.
The
second hand emerging from the
it's just fucking baffling. It's like, oh, what do you think's wrong with it? Fucking everything, man. I don't know who his grandfather is, but it's also his grandmother.
Rather than capture, you should just go like hold up 5 fingers and just go like,
yeah.
Are you real?
Are you an AI?
I mean, like,
you know, that
much like yourself, I think, Dave. I come from like acting and music is my background, right? So there's a lot of controversy over actors' faces and things being used now. That's been a big thing, you know, sort of being AI generated, and people saying you're not doing that, but they don't have the rights to their own AI generated face, like that. And I think it almost devalues the years of experience I or yourself or whatever have had, or artists in general have had to get to the position. And there do seem to be more. I'm also undecided.
Yeah.
I think as a tool, why wouldn't we use it? Right, it's time saving, and everything is quicker now. Everything wants to be done faster, and time is so valuable. So as an assisted tool, I use it. I haven't ever used it for any arty stuff, and I don't really have the ability to know how to do that either. I'm sure there's ways you can, and plenty of people do. So I struggle a little bit with its place in the hobby, and like with the Golden Demon, it didn't take away from his painting. His painting was still ridiculously good.
His painting is brilliant. It's just a shame it's overshadowed by.
Yeah, it feels tarnished, right? Like, and it feels like this you don't even need the background, so who cares? Right? It doesn't really matter.
If you'd taken the background off, or just that would have been, it would still have been a really, really impressive piece.
But there were no rules to say you can't do that. So like, is it much the same as taking a picture and sticking it in the background? I don't know. It doesn't really affect the paint job, and I don't think really the judges shouldn't be looking at the background in relation to the whole of the piece. So I don't think it detracts from his actual paint job at all, or really adds to it. It just is a flavor, and now it's gone, and it's happened, and it was always going to happen at some point, right? There's no rule. AI, it's not clear, and then I don't know, I think they made the right decision not allowing it again. But was he wrong to do it in the first place? Probably not. I don't know.
I'm 50-50 on the use of it, because it's a painting competition, and to introduce that element into it, and then to subsequently pretend it wasn't easy.
I'm pretty sure I can go to Midjourney and type jungle.
Yeah. Just bumping prompts into something is kind of easy. Is kind of easy.
Yeah. I think it doesn't. It doesn't belong. Just from my own statement, it doesn't belong in a painting competition.
And that you could, like I've mentioned like a few minutes ago, like how much it costs to pay an artist to do something. Like if you're that serious about a competition entry, and obviously he was very serious, because it's a fantastic piece. Clearly, it's had, I don't know, like 600, 800 hours put into it, whatever. Pay an artist 500 quid just to do you a custom backdrop. That's money. That's money in someone's pocket. Do you know what I mean?
Probably has the ability to paint it themselves as well, I'm sure.
Quite possibly.
Like, is that?
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. So it's been an interesting. That was kind of the drama of the Golden Demon before this, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't. What was it? What I don't even know what even won the sword that time. Was that the one that won the whole thing, or did that just win?
That won it, didn't it?
Was that the sword winner? Yeah. And so, like, it's an interesting development, and I'm glad Games Workshop made a ruling, or whoever judges these. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a lot of information in relation to how things like categories are judged. That's something else I've seen a lot of this year. Is there's no pointers. Do you know what I mean? There's not like, right, we're doing 10 points for brushwork, 10 points for this, 20 points for imagination. Like, there's no guidelines, right? Is that a good thing? I don't know.
I think, well, this is kind of what the controversy from the latest one was. Like, obviously, there's a few bigger players, shall we say, in the miniature YouTube and kind of Instagram kind of world. I've kind of complained about the judges and some of their decisions. Now, I think, as you said there, Ollie, like, do you give points for sort of creativity, points for, brushwork and things like that? Now, when you get to that level, like literally everything's a 10, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at a model and you think that's absolutely flawless. Now, obviously, if you're looking at loads of different models, like, I know myself that, when I'm painting something, some bits will be a little bit sort of sloppy, the bits that are underneath something, and there will probably be bits on every single model where the artist sort of thinks, I could have probably done a little bit better on that bit, or a little bit better on that bit. But when you get to the point where you look at it and you think, I don't know what else I could do on that, like, the judges are probably going to be thinking exactly the same thing, that, their brushwork is immaculate, their blending is immaculate, the freehand is amazing. So I think art is miniature painting is such a subjective thing. I look at some people's kind of work, and I can just look at it and go, I respect the work that's gone into that
Mhm.
and how good that is. But I don't particularly like it because I don't like the
Yeah,
color
yeah.
choice, or I don't particularly like the. So it can literally come down to whether the
Mhm.
judges kind of like the color
Yeah,
scheme,
yeah.
I
There's
suppose. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of whether it kind of fits with
yeah,
the color wheel
yeah.
or
There doesn't
not.
need to be a debate on it. I genuinely just don't like this. Like, it's immaculate, but I don't like it. What do you
Yeah,
want from
yeah,
me?
yeah.
I,
Exactly,
but
exactly.
I think that's the
And
problem with art
Mhm.
or music and things in general, right? Or theatre or whatever,
Mhm.
or movies or anything. There are no like
Mhm.
points to grade. Now, unlike something like I don't know a sport or whatever, there's
Mhm.
solid rules in place to stop
yeah, yeah.
something. So how do they judge Golden Demon? Does anyone know that? Who judges them? Do they pull in guest
Well,
judges? Is it Games Workshop who do it?
there was is it Roman Lappa, and there was two other judges, but I don't think they were kind of like named judges. I think they must have been from Games
I
Workshop.
don't fucking blame them for not
But
giving
yeah,
their
they gave
names
no.
out. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't at all. But I think they were, they kind of wanted to, well, clearly remain
Yeah, yeah.
nameless. But it's one of those that I think the damned if you
Mhm.
do and damned if you don't. There's always going to be somebody out there that thinks they did a better
Mhm.
job than the other one. And when you're at
Mhm.
that level, it's like it's so going to be so fucking
Mhm.
difficult to judge what's
Mhm.
good. What is this one better than this one? And they're just
Yeah, yeah.
different. Do you know what I mean? They might be both
Mhm.
completely immaculate. Um, uh, but do you feel it's right that some of these people that have got
Mhm.
platforms were kind of complaining about judges' decisions when they weren't necessarily given criteria, didn't know what the judges were thinking? And obviously, with these competitions, you don't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
feedback on it. They don't say, "I like this about it," and you could have done this better, because actually, as I said, there might not be anything that
Mhm.
they could have done better. Like it's
Yeah,
perfection, but they just like this
yeah.
one more than another one. Like, do you think that's right that they use their platform to complain about judges' decisions?
Me?
Oh, any of you?
I'm
Yeah,
staying silent. No, I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, it's the issue with YouTube in general, and to a large degree, our little hobby corner of it, is that uh, people are fucking uploading before they've thought about something, and
Mm,
not enough people are having fucking just grown up conversations with themselves about stuff.
mhm,
Um, like it's a competition, okay?
mhm.
You have to go into a competition being not only to lose but to be completely ignored. That's what a
Mhm.
competitive
Yeah.
nature is. Um, and I just think the problem is whinging about stuff makes a lot of money on YouTube. So
Mhm.
It's
Oh, yeah, of course it
yeah,
does, yeah.
antagonistic, negative content is what we
there's
want
no
Yeah,
on
of course it
YouTube.
does.
Like
discouragement
it's
for it. Like, even if
no,
people whinge at you in the comments, it's like, well, I've made £1,000 off this video.
yeah, who cares?
I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
not been negatively reinforced by this. What I do with my cat now and again, if he's really fucking grinding my shit, like once every few months, the spray bottle has to come out to make him just stop being a twat. Just one spray, we're done. We're good, chief. We'll make up. Like, I wish I could just, like, there's a button on YouTube where you can just hit the spray bottle. I'd pay.
Spray. Yeah,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
YouTube
I'd,
spray
I'd pay
bottle.
for more channel memberships. I'd pay for fucking premium, actually, if I could just hit the spray button.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, like, stop that. Just chill out. You're an
Yeah.
adult. Let's talk about this like mature people, or I'll listen to you if you're a mature person. But yeah.
I think a big part of the problem with the is it
Mhm.
power, I suppose, or power or influence, like
Mm,
large content creators, even people like
Mhm.
ourselves to some degree, right? If anyone watches something, no
Mhm.
matter how many people, they might
Mhm.
value your
Yeah.
opinion on something. And it might not be a truthful opinion, or let's say it might
Mhm.
be a snapshot one that you thought, right,
Yeah.
okay, bang, and then I regret that, and maybe like I think does it devalue the competition
Mhm.
or the winners as well. It does
yeah.
Mhm.
there's something in being a good winner,
Mhm.
a good loser, learning something. And it is frustrating if you weren't to
Yeah,
get any
yeah.
feedback, or you didn't learn anything, or you felt like I put my heart and soul into this and it doesn't get somewhere. That can
Mhm.
also be a bit demotivating, deflating. Much the same as making a video and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
your dream one and it does shit against something
Yeah.
you've done that shit that does well. And you compare yourself to other people as it is. You compare
Mhm.
yourself to yourself. You blame yourself for
Mhm.
things. But like there is like a responsibility almost, which
Yeah.
comes across It's just happened by being on YouTube
Yeah.
these days, and it's like I feel
Mhm.
it sometimes, and I'm sure you guys do too, where you do have a say in stuff, and there are ways to
Yeah.
make changes, but there are good ways and more positive ways to go about that. But like you say, YouTube doesn't
It
want
doesn't
that,
reward
really.
positivity.
It
It
doesn't.
doesn't
No,
reward
no,
like,
dignity.
not
I've
at all.
done. Yeah, I've literally done videos where I'm like, let's not worry about it. Let's just be good,
Yeah.
and no one cares, right? But you do something slightly
Mhm.
drama-y, and you get
Yeah.
rewarded for that. So I would be interested to see, what
Mhm.
changes people make, or like, are people talking about boycotting? I've seen a lot of those.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
entering this ever again. I'm not wasting my time again. Like, is that happening? Is that actually going
No.
to happen? Is that
What else are they going to do? What are they going
cards?
to
Probably
don't
not,
what are they
right?
going to make a video on next year?
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
why I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
enter
Oh, they
Golden
will.
Demon, right? And that's
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
But
might
they-
do
but they
that.
will.
Why didn't enter
But
Golden
what-
Demon? The big drama. I'm shit. Might be my
Yes,
answer.
I'm not good enough, yeah.
It's not good enough. There you go. Because you do see people. There's a few other
Mhm.
painting competitions knocking around, and there was one recently that a lot of people went to, and a couple of the patrons from my channel went there, and he won a few awards and stuff. And I feel like he's got like 3 pieces that he works on continuously. And I think this happened this year in Golden Demon, didn't it? Someone entered something in the first one, did work to it, and won
Yeah.
something in the second one in between. And it was obviously amazing. And like, to my sort of layman's eye, I wouldn't really know the difference. And like, how do you compare a 10
Yeah.
against a 10 when they've all got amazing composition, they've all got amazing
Yeah,
colors,
yeah.
they're all painted really, really well. Is it just down to the luck of the draw? Is the artist just not his style? Is he hungover? Has he seen? If I've seen 1,000 models, right, I'm probably going model blind by model 30. I'm just like,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good, and that's where the skill of being a judge is,
Yeah.
right? Of being able to
I'm-
know.
I mean,
I don't know. What to
Yeah.
From some of the breakdown videos I've watched of it, where people genuinely do seem to have a fucking breakdown in the video. Like there's a lot of examples of immaculate stuff being shown off, and I'm sat there like, yeah, that is some blending right there. That is 2 colors
That's
blended,
yeah.
brother.
Yeah, that's sick
and then
blending.
the shots of the winners come up, barring the single Primaris Marine that won something.
Oh, that was
an odd one,
wasn't
but
it?
I think
Yeah.
looking at it close up is pretty fucking good. But
It was just immaculate, wasn't
that's
it?
the thing. It was
That
immaculate.
just
The perfect Primaris,
it was kind of box done
Mhm.
like, really crisp edge highlighting, but it was just
Yeah.
immaculate. And I think that's probably what it was like. It's no, there wasn't sort of, I don't know how many hours the artist spent on that, but it wasn't, it didn't need like a
No,
really
it's not
complicated base
overstated
to
at all.
set it off. It didn't need like
No.
no, exactly. It's just and I think that's what made that so
Mhm.
fantastic, that it was just it spoke for itself as a model. It didn't need all the pomp and
Yes.
circumstance around it.
I feel like that model, though, more than others,
It did,
ruffled
yeah.
feathers, right? Like of a lot of people. I've seen a lot. Like, I don't really follow, stuff like that into detail, but I think I've seen a lot of people like criticizing that, and they're trying to say, is it a Games Workshop's choice to put a Space Marine, a Space Marine as the winner? Like, is that the people's hope? The people's champion? Like I say, it's the perfect looking Space Marine. I wouldn't know what to do to make that better. It's better than I could ever do, and it's just. But is it a worthy winner? I think is what a lot of people are thinking. Is their model better than that? I didn't even see them all. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
It wouldn't be my pick, but I'm not arguing against it, if that makes sense. Like, it wouldn't have been my choice. But at the same time, I look at it and think, if you chose that, you chose that. Yeah.
What's wrong with it? Do you know what I mean? Nothing. Like,
that's
the other winners in the category, it was really fucking day and night for me, where the various influencers are kind of looking at these and being like, well, what separates this from that? And immediately my brain was like, that's got some fucking soul to it, man. Like, it's this other stuff has got money, but these winners have got cash. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got the steak and the sizzle. They're very simple by comparison, but I can look at those and it actually makes me feel something. Nothing too, not aroused.
Yeah.
I don't want to cry or anything. I don't want to be sick. But I'm like, I can feel something when I look at it. I can hear the sounds of the battlefield. I can smell the smoke, kind of thing. Like with the Landspeeder one, again, it was really simple,
Yeah.
but the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
execution had a bit of soul to it. It had a bit of cash. It had a bit of sizzle, and I think that's what kind of
Mhm.
stood it apart from all the other things that were like, well, why didn't this get better? Why didn't this win? Why didn't that beat that? It's like, well, that's it. I feel nothing with that. It looks like a giant lizard under some disco balls covered in glitter. It's immaculate. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
It's incredible skill.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is just kind of skill. Essentially, it's a tech demo. It's a
Yeah,
CryEngine
yeah.
tech
Yeah,
demo.
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an AI generated pop song. Do you know what I mean?
A really good
Yeah.
one.
In the
A
nicer
really
way.
fucking good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
really
It's perfect.
crisp
There's
one.
nothing. There's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with it on paper, right? And but I think that's the problem. Well, not the problem. That's the whole beauty
Mm-hmm.
of art, and that's what this is, right? Is at this standard as well. Is it's utterly subjective, totally down to your
Mhm.
mood on the day. If I'm feeling a bit sad, I'll go listen
Yeah.
to sad music. If I'm feeling happy, I'll probably listen to happy music. If I'm feeling whimsical or whatever, or nostalgic, it all depends on what I'm
Mhm.
feeling. And if something does speak to you, then that merits
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point, and that's what Warhammer is. That's what all these things are.
Mhm.
All competitions, but that's what Warhammer Games Day, whatever, Golden Demon is Warhammer, and that's what it's
Yeah.
meant to be telling you. It's
Yeah.
meant to be selling a story, and it's meant to be selling a feeling. That's why we do it. That's why we paint. It's why we like having
Mhm.
painted armies on nice boards. It's immersion. It's and that might sound overly nerdy, but that's what
Yeah.
we all aspire
Absolutely.
to, isn't
we
it? That's
always
what
we
all
always want to hear the gunfire. We
Um,
want to smell the smoke. Essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
we absolutely need to remember is that Golden Demon I'll word it kindly, it's a PR event, ultimately. Yeah.
Of course it is.
I
Of
would
course it is.
certainly,
Mhm.
maybe not 20 years
Yes.
ago, but certainly now, it's their flagship
Yeah.
painting competition of the biggest
Mhm.
like gaming
Mhm.
company in our industry. So
Yeah.
with that comes people sort of questioning why they can't use certain other
3D
models or
printed stuff.
3D print
Yeah.
stuffs or whatever, right? Because what
Or
they
a
want to
scan
do
of a
is
model that they've
Yeah.
reposed.
yeah, they want to make sales, and they
Yeah.
need to keep hold of their IP, and they need to make sure, because there are also, for every amazing entry, I'm sure there's plenty of
Mhm.
ones that aren't quite as good. If I was to enter something, I'm not getting anything. Shit, I'd be happy to get whatever
Yeah.
commended pin or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And probably don't even get that. So but like all of these, it's promotion for them, it's PR, it's sales,
Yeah.
and that needs to be directed somewhere. So like if you see something win, you go, fuck, I'm going to buy that model because
Yeah.
that Gargant looks fucking amazing.
Mhm.
I want one now.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, isn't it? Probably.
I want an
Yes.
intercessor.
Yeah, I want a Space Marine Intercessor. Yeah, one you can get for free in the
Yeah.
shop like Broadsword Wargaming.
Yeah, exactly.
And so there is that element to it too, because it's not a fan run or a people run. Now, are there? I'm sure there
Oh,
are
yeah,
other
yeah.
competitions right
Yeah.
out there that are not industry,
Yeah.
not business linked, like, and maybe do people see that as a fairer?
Possibly. I mean,
competition?
I'm not even kind of hung up on the idea of the judging aspect or what's fair behind that. It's like, well, to a degree, if it is a PR event, then that kind of taints the value of it anyway. Not the value of the work going into it, but the value of it as an institution.
I think so, but I think going into it as an artist, you'd think, do you know what? Actually, this is probably what they're
Mhm.
going to want to see. So actually,
Mhm.
this is what I am going to do to try and appease them. So actually, do you know what? Painting a
Mhm.
Space Marine or something like that is probably going to be what the
Mhm.
judges want to see, or what Games Workshop as an
Mhm.
entity wants to see from the event. So actually, do you know what? Like,
Mhm.
it's about playing the game, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's not about kind of, as I say, there was and it was absolutely
Mhm.
the golem,
Mhm.
with Mount Doom underneath, and it was
Fucking
beautifully kind of
stunning.
lit and everything.
Amazing.
It was absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, the
Mhm.
guy had taken a scan of the original model, he'd reposed it and everything like that. So
Yeah.
it wasn't essentially the original model. So were they going to give him a trophy or a pin or anything for something that wasn't
Yeah.
supplied by them? Now, if it was my company, I'd probably turn around and go like, well,
Mhm.
no, because it's not one of our products. It's
Mhm.
a 3D scan of one of our products, and you've
Mhm.
reposed it, and we don't sell that. So you know, so something that is kind of really heavily, massively converted as well probably isn't going to get, the same, that's why I think that's what was so good about that Space Marine, though, is like, it was just the simplicity of it. It was just literally an Intercessor Space Marine that was painted.
The fucking free model
absolutely
that you get when you're a kid and you're walking off the street and they just give you that.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a box of them out back. Do you know what I mean? There you go. You have one of them. Yeah, that's a Golden Demon winner. That. It's like it's a choice, isn't it? I think it's cool. Like,
Look what you can do with like the most basic model. In it's probably that's probably what the most manufactured model that they make. Probably,
I would say so. Yeah, I expect. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing we sell the most of in my shop is Intercessors. Whether they've got a flamer or a plasma gun or a bolt gun, a Primaris Space Marine Intercessor as an Ultramarine is probably the most popular thing. And maybe there is a bit of like, that's what they want to do. Like, maybe they'd want a Titus, from Space Marine 2 to win. Like, is that not amazing PR for everything? But you probably go into games to Golden Demon though. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting to speak to like someone who has entered or won as well. But you must go into that kind of thing knowing that too.
Yeah.
Right. Like
that's what I mean. It's about playing the game.
There's something hanging over the top that's not going to be quite the same as if like you go to Fen Model Show or Crystal Brush or something like that. Just something that exists purely to be about what it's about, if that makes sense. Like Golden Demon is not solely about who's the best painter and the painting competition side of things. It's got that PR angle to it. Whereas you go to an actual independent like painting competition, that's what it's actually all about.
Yeah. Who represents the brand the best, almost?
I suppose all just to play sort of devil's advocate, I suppose all competitions have like, as everything in life, has sort of
an angle,
whether it be nepotism or whether it just be who you know, or and there's a lot of that. There's a lot of other like industry secrets. Do you know what I mean? That people are aware of that I wouldn't be aware of because I'm not in that circle, right? It was very much like that with acting. It's a lot of down to who you know, or have you got the money behind you to continue to do something where I would get distracted by a job, like or I have to take a job for money over the job for passion. So I suppose everything has that angle to it anyway, and that's just human nature, isn't it? And if you're hanging around with like 3 other people who win Golden Demons and you're good, you're probably going to learn something. And you've got someone to look at it. It was the same when I was playing poker. It would be the same. When I got to the point where I got in with people who knew stuff, I learned a lot more, a lot quicker. And you discuss things and you talk about it and you go home from the award and you go, okay, I didn't win a bronze. I won a whatever. I won a bronze. I won a gold. And that's probably the kind of positive discussions I think I would like to see about Golden Demon, rather than the sort of the negative why I didn't win or I didn't win. I'd like to see what could you have done, or what would three other established artists have to say about your piece, right? In a truthful way, which is always going to be hard to do because there's the egos and there's other things involved in this as well, right? But like, what would 3 really good artists who all won golds or all won the swords say about someone's bronze, why that didn't win gold?
There was a little bit of that going on. With some people, they were like, "Oh, I showed it to another artist. They said it was the best thing that they'd ever seen, and it should have won." And you're just a bit like,
are people going to be truthful about that? Really, realistically?
Exactly. If somebody brings a model to you that they've spent 500 hours painting or whatever ridiculous amount of time that I don't paint 500 hours in
an army,
ever. Ever. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I've ever painted 500 hours. But and you show that to somebody, are you going to say, "Oh, you probably do a little bit better here"? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Obviously, it depends on the relationship that you've got and things, but I know I'd be very reluctant to say, "No, it's a bit crap, that, mate. You could do a bit better there." But after another 500 hours, you could probably do all right on it. And then just the very, very last point: do you think that the judges, knowing some of the people that entered, do you think that they were kind of biased against them in any way? Or do you think it would have come down purely to the artistry and stuff? Or do you not know?
I don't know. Obviously, it should come down to just artistry. We get a lot of different winners, right? It's not like we just see always the same people, but you do see a lot of the same names in all the Golden Demons. But is that just because they are all particularly good? Probably, right? It's the same again for anything else. Why do some people make it to the top and others don't? Or some people are consistently in the top. Like, how do you top what you might say is perfection and you can keep repeating that, and maybe you know the formula and you know the system, and you have that's where we're talking about the 1%, right? Above 100% or whatever comes in. I know it's not mathematically possible.
It'd be fractional. It's going to be 0.01% above. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what makes the difference between amazing and exceptional or whatever, or perfection. So really, that shouldn't be, and I'd imagine there should be enough like judgings and points that wouldn't happen. But I suppose if they were more forthcoming with judging criteria, then we would know that, right? In the public, we'd say, okay, if there was a scorecard out of 1,000 and it was 998 versus 9, we'd at least know. But I don't think, as we've already said, it's too subjective. I don't think we can know that at all. And I would think a competition of that side must have some integrity. Otherwise, it would have gone by now.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
cool. Right. So
everything's great.
Everything's amazing.
Everything's great.
Everyone's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Golden Demon is amazing. We're all entering the next one. We'll do
we'll just enter one piece. We'll just pass it around.
Definitely.
We'll just pass it around.
I'll do the left arm.
That's fine
for me.
I have visions of entering Golden Demon, and I walk up to the counter or whatever and like hand it over, and they were like, "No, you're all right, mate."
Well, wait, you're wasting your time. Like, can't be asked to look at it.
Don't waste our time. Like,
stick it in shelf Z down the end.
Toilet.
Yeah, we'll get round to it.
Just pick up the bin and go stick it in here, mate.
Got a special place for these entries. Fuck off. Yeah, okay, great. I would like to do it. I think I would like to do it just for the experience of doing it. I'd like to go. I've not been to a Games Day or a Golden Demon Day in a long time, and I always think of it back how it was, all those years ago, and I do think it was probably more hobby based or whatever. That we didn't have social media then. We didn't have points to win for, So now in winning a Golden Demon, I guess comes money to a degree through some other platform. I don't mean they're paying you, but if I was a Golden Demon winner, my YouTube's probably going to do better than not. Right, or something. It's a kind of a shot at money. So there's integral value in that, and growth as well, continued growth. And so with all that, if you get a video with 1 million views, your whole channel's going to grow, and then everything else is worth more. So there is value in these things as well, and there is certainly a commercial aspect to look at. Look at this! I'm coming up with all these.
That's the smartest you've ever sounded. You should put that in a video.
It's so profound.
I know. I do this in I feel like I do this in each podcast. I say one bit that makes you sound smart, and then I'm like, I should put them together in a montage.
I wish I was recording this.
I'm not as stupid as I may seem occasionally, but I just find all these topics. The more you sort of unpack them, the more there is to talk.
More there is to talk about. Yeah. So have we finished slagging everybody off? Everyone that was whinging about not.
So really, who's shit? Everyone should stop slagging stuff off on YouTube and get over yourself.
If we all stop, people are just forced to watch positive things. Or not even positive, just middle of the road things.
Yeah, no.
I feel so middle of the road all the time, and I would be so successful just being a miserable sounding bastard if everyone would just stop being hyper negative.
But without the negativity. You could just be like a middle of the road.
But I think that's what we're all about, right? I think probably all of us come from the same place, really. There, like, there's so much negativity in the world anyway, and it's a hard enough life at the moment without my release being negativity. That's what I want. I want to make people feel good. I want to make people feel. That's the nice comments, right? That's the nice videos and nostalgia and stuff. People feel, oh, do you know what I mean? Let's make me feel nice. Let's make me feel good and fuzzy. Yeah. That's what I want, right? That's what I think we all want. Well, that's what we all want.
Well, I mean, that's what we want. The numbers say otherwise, and Kurt Angle, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah. The bitch don't lie.
Exactly. Yeah, right? It's a real shame. Like, I had a wonderful comment recently, which was, "I've never seen such a depressed looking man give such a positive message." I was like, "Thank you, mate."
Oh,
it is.
That's
nice.
Change Top Shagger down there to
that name's not going to come up on the thing. Is it? Okay, right.
It might.
I can't remember. It might do. It'll be all right.
We can edit that.
profit a little bit out.
But
It's
I,
fine.
I think there's a few nice
Mm.
positive comments you get, right, over whatever content you do, and I'm sure everyone does. I always have one or two that stick with me. One was I did a video about the shop, and one positive comment I got that stuck in my brain actually was it was about running a business and working with your partner and kind of all the difficulties and the good and the bad that comes with that. And one guy was like, my partner, his partner, he's like, used to have her own business and he worked with her every day for a couple of years, and then the business went under, and now he doesn't see her an extra like 50 hours a week. Whereas previously he was spending all the time with the person he loved the most. And I was like, oh, that made me think like, Kira's not been in the shop for like 9 months now because of the baby and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I kind of miss working with her. And like, if, you should kind of enjoy those moments and enjoy the times we have as we go along, right?
Exactly. So should we start wrapping it up? We've been this is the longest episode.
Did you want to
we've
ask
had by
Tony any
quite a long
questions?
way. So
Do you want Tony?
Yeah,
on?
get Tony out. I think
Oh,
any
dipshit.
other special
Yeah.
guests?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's another
yeah.
guest or two.
1 second.
Yeah, he'll be back in a second. That's fair. You've got a cover now, Benji. So what's
Yeah,
happening right now for those who can't visually see is Dave has disappeared. I think.
I think he's gone to get his.
I'll do
his
it, but I've had a couple of drinks.
So for those,
Is that you,
so those of
Tony?
you-
What's going on?
is that Tony? Oh, it's
Oh,
Tony.
who the
Hey
fuck are
man,
you?
how's it going?
1 second. 1 second.
So yeah, for those of you who've never met Tony or seen Tony, there we go. Here he is. So Tony is a co-host
I do the
on
Squarespace.
MS Paints, and yeah, he does. He's the
Absolutely.
advert extraordinaire. For any ad reads and things like that, he's absolutely top dog at
I'm your
MS
guy.
Paints for that sort of stuff. So yeah, Tony. Yeah, you're the guy. So yeah, should we ask the same questions of Tony that we asked Dave?
Who are
Yeah,
you?
why
Who's
not?
this guy in the middle? Who's this? Who's this?
It's me. Hello.
That-
Is that you, Tony? Earth to Tony. I'm Ollie. We've not met before, I don't think, actually, and I'm not sure I really know much about
you
yourself.
have any idea what's
You know,
happening
yeah.
right now? Okay.
Not really. I feel like I was kind of expecting some madness, and we got away with
Yeah.
it for an hour and 25 minutes and 16 seconds, and now it's happened. This was kind of what I was expecting from Dave, so I'm glad you're here to take over a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Dave was getting a little bit sort of,
just-
he sounded a bit depressed. So I think
he's
I'm
a
glad that you
boring
kind of brought
son
the
of a bitch.
positivity, the
That-
energy
that-
back
that-
towards the end of it. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say, but what a boring
right?
bastard. Jesus
right?
Christ. Yeah, have you got any hot takes, Tony, on anything? You've probably been listening in the background there whilst, I don't know,
Yeah,
doing your
that's
hair
right.
and
What
trimming your mustache.
are we talking about?
We're
Painting
talking about painting
like the Van
competitions
Gogh
and
the Raphael and the other Ninja
yeah,
Turtles and stuff like that.
yeah, those guys. So have you ever entered
No,
painting competition
I
yourself?
entered a sandwich making competition once. What?
And
Did
how'd
you
you get
win?
on?
No.
Did you win?
No, I forgot to bring
Did you
the
eat the
bread.
sandwich?
I forgot to bring the bread. I said
So it wasn't even.
it wasn't a
even a
sandwich, but
sandwich then, is
goddamn,
what
that
you're
was
saying.
it was a good pile of ingredients. And I used a Xerox paper. Do you know what a Xerox paper is? I used the paper. I said, just imagine the bread. Just imagine the bread. Just imagine it. It's fine.
That sounds pretty handy. Where are you from, by the way?
I originally
Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey. I'm one quarter Cuban, but originally from New Jersey, and then I had to leave, and then I worked in Louisiana a little bit, and then and now I'm here.
Nice. Where do
Well,
you
and
live
how-
there? Where do you live
And
now?
how
Where are you now then?
Oh
Do you
yeah, I
live-
live
do
in
you
the
stuck
basement.
in the
Yeah,
or
it's
what?
fine.
and what is it like
No,
working
it's
with
fine.
Dave?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. He could make a little bit more money. I keep telling him, dog, you gotta shit on a Space Marine. You gotta get some heat. I've been keeping an eye on those Games Workshop stocks, and I gotta tell you, dog, they have dropped 0.2%. It is over. The sky is fucking falling. Do a goddamn video about it, you son of a bitch. Stop fucking shaking and do a video. Games Workshop's over, Oliver.
This scam. We should put the scandal. Games Workshop's latest scandal, right? It's over. They made the
They have
biggest
made the
mistake.
biggest
Isn't
mistake.
That's it, right? That's
They
just
fuck
right.
around and they found out what's going on. Golden Demon. They awoke a golden demon. What are you gonna do? Melt that? Of course you can. It's made of gold. Shove it up your ass.
I think it's lovely having extra chats. I feel like I could talk to you forever.
Go
Really.
for
I've
it.
got endless questions for you. Would you shove a golden demon
With a what?
where the sun don't shine?
Where the sun doesn't
Where the sun
shine.
doesn't
No,
shine.
I wouldn't. I'm not into that golden demon stuff. But I know a couple of guys who were
No.
back in the day. 70s were pretty crazy, you know. Each to their own. I ain't gonna judge. I ain't gonna judge.
Yeah, you're not a golden
ain't
demon
a golden
judge. is what you're
demon
saying.
judge.
You
You know what I mean? And
you-
if I was, I would take some fucking bribes. You know what I'm saying? I'd have some fucking class about it. I wouldn't pick who's the best. I'd be honest with you. I'd say, well, he slipped me $50. He's the fucking winner. What are you talking about? What's an AI generated what?
Would you take an AI generated 50
Well, no,
notes?
that's not
Probably,
legal
yeah.
tender. But if
Understandable.
the Bitcoin or something like, what's a Bitcoin?
Yeah, internet money, fake money.
No,
Yeah.
fuck that. Okay, just let me a damn 20. Keep it simple. Yeah. I mean, I judge a golden demon.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you'd do a good job. I think you'd be objective, honest, you'd have integrity.
Yeah, you didn't
You
listen
think,
to
yeah.
anything I
I
just
think
said.
You
But
seem
yeah.
like
Yeah.
an honourable gent. He's definitely the most honourable gentleman that's been on this podcast this evening.
and the most honest judge, probably.
Yeah,
at least you're
absolutely.
honest that you're
It's
taking
all
bribes.
about honesty. Yeah, sure. His blends weren't great, and his model's broken, and he's an asshole. But at least he's a rich asshole, and he paid me. What do you want from me? He won the Tony Award. He won a sandwich with no bread.
I feel like we could just remove the first hour and 20 and just basically start and end the video here, because this is the stuff we all want to say, isn't it? You're an honest
I
speaker.
mean, that's
You
fine. I
speak-
can talk
speak
shit
your
all night. I just had 3 bumps of coke. I'm ready to go. What else you been? Where?
If you're not watching this, by the way, this is don't tell him, but he's like a puppet.
Who the fuck are you?
Right?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Who the fuck are you?
Don't look.
Look, yeah.
Right, close it, Benji. He's giving me looks.
On that note, Tony, it's been absolutely amazing to speak to you. I'm a big fan. I'm loving your work, but it would be great to just close the podcast.
Find
off
me
with
that
Dave.
son of a bitch's address. I'm gonna come find you. What island? North or the real one? I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna fuck you up.
I've got some YouTube drama.
You got
You
some
know what?
YouTube
Bring it
drama?
on.
Yeah,
Fuzzy.
YouTube drama. Games Workshop
Yeah.
sucks my ass. I got fucked up by a puppet. No bread on the sandwich, you son of a bitch. Also, your antenna is sticking up out of your head, cyborg.
You're
breadless
breadless
bastard.
bastard.
Breadless bastard. That's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't have any bread, and I am a bastard. Born out of wedlock. I can't help it. Right, I'm going now.
Get him out of here, Dave. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Bring Dave back now. Dave,
Bring
kick
Dave
him
back.
off.
Fuck you guys. I don't even like
See you,
guys.
Tony.
Bye, Benji.
Well, that was all a bit of YouTube drama at the end, wasn't it? That's what we needed, I think.
That was, yeah. That's definitely been made into a short.
Hello, mate. How you doing? It's nice to have you
Well,
back. I think we fell
What,
out.
me
a
and
little
you?
Yeah.
bit. They're not. Well, I don't know. Maybe we did as well. Fuck you. Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on with us, Dave. It's been nice to chat to you in well, I wouldn't say real life because it's not real, is it? But it's nice to chat
Yes.
to a version of you.
When are we
digitally
going
for the
to
first
meet
time.
up and play some
You're
Final
an
Fantasy
absolute-
cards, mate? When are we going to?
Oh man, I've got another starter set. It's your fault. I buy all the boosters now in the shop. I've just got. Is it 24? Number 24 now.
Opus 24,
Opus
yeah, with
something? I've
Clive.
just got.
Clive.
Yeah, I've just got that in the shop now. So, man, you need to teach me Final Fantasy cards because I don't know if my brain can absorb another game on my own. But I know it's like magic,
Yeah,
but not.
it's quick magic,
isn't it?
essentially.
It's
Quick magic with chocobos.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, I love a card game. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's our world groundbreaking collab there
Yeah,
at some
I
point
like
is
that.
playing Final Fantasy. You know,
Yeah.
I think that would get at least 1 million views.
Definitely.
This is the shittest game ever. That's the title as well. So no, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on with us and for taking the time this fine Thursday night.
Thank you for
come and
having
chat
me.
shit with us.
You're welcome to
Yeah.
have me back, although
Cheers,
this video is
Dave.
probably going to get demonetized because I talked in it. So you probably won't invite me back.
It's fine. We
All
don't
right,
make
okay.
any money off it anyway,
Yeah,
so
we're not monetized
it's
anyway.
fine.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't got the sponsors either. So
Yeah.
don't worry. Yeah, it's all
So
good.
it makes us nothing. So yeah, on that note, we're gonna close
On that
it.
note, please do make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the alarm bell on whatever platform you're listening to. Make sure to get all the alerts, follow us if that's what it's called there. And also do check out our wonderful Patreon. It gives you access to a private Discord, a personal Discord maybe. And you would also, depending on your level, you can sort of lead the podcast a little bit. We always want more feedback from you guys, and you can sort of ask us questions. We'll do a little Patreon Q&A at the end where we'll bring up a couple of the questions you guys asked. And even for the top tier patrons, I think we'd like you to sort of maybe guide an episode somewhere. Give us some suggestions, things you'd like us to talk about, things you find, the dramas you want to hear about, and our perspectives on those as well. So yeah, make sure to do all of that. I'm going to pass you to Benji because he's got a better voice than I do.
I don't know. I think you've said it all now. But yeah, thanks you for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.